Hello, my name is Mariana Rojo, and today we're going to talk about preventing challenging behavior through school-wide positive behavior interventions and supports. Let's get started. An overview of the school-wide positive behavioral interventions and support is that it is an exciting and effective way to solve problems in school concerning the disciplinary actions to the school violence and disruptive behavior. We will talk about the positive behavior interventions, describe critical attributes, describe research support, essential features, planning and implementing, and monitoring methods. Alright, let's get started. One or more examples of the research that supports is working under the hypothesis of the interventions that improve the student behavior will result in students remaining in the classrooms, which should improve academic achievement, by Scott and Barrett, 2004. And they said that an average of 20 minutes of instructional time is lost for every ODR before implementing PBIS intervention. After the intervention was implemented, however, year 1 had a gain of 27.7 days, and year 2 had a gain of 31.2 days. What this means is that they're taking a positive approach at tackling behavior issues, because being tough and all of that wasn't working. So because of that, they started taking data, records, and they wanted to see how much time was lost because of the way that students were acting. And they said that their hypothesis was that once that students' behavior was better, the students would remain in the classroom and they would be better academically and have more, because they had more instruction time rather than time lost due to misbehavior issues. A detailed description of the 3 sources of data that are used in the school-wide positive behavior system is data number 1 is effective behavior support survey. This is used before the SWPBIS is implemented, and then every year after that, to see the point of view of all the staff in the 4 areas of the positive behavior. I wrote that backwards, I'm sorry. Interventions and supports. School-wide, classroom, and non-classroom, and individual students. And they are able to have these questions. For data number 2, the school-wide information system, it is a way to maintain records to see the progress of ODRs as standard practice. It is a web-based data management system. The ODRs are calculated per school day per 100 students, and the formula would be the total ODR divided by total school days divided by the total enrollment, which would be divided by 100 to get a percentage. And number 3, the other data that is used is benchmarks of quality. This is a tool that is used to assess the fidelity of the implementation, where there is a possible 100 points given by the members of the leadership team. This results can then be used for developing annual action plans to show the steps needed to improve the positive behavior interventions support system. Now, 3 features that are commonly found in the universal level are: feature number 1 is few positively stated school rules for all students. So looking at this, our class rules: always do your best, treat others the way you want to be treated, use classroom materials respectfully, be safe inside and outside. All of these are stated in a positive way because it is the positive way to say, always do your best would be the positive way to say, like, don't scribble scrabble, because it's nicer to say always do your best than don't do this, or no rushing. And then treat others the way you want to be treated. It covers a lot of things, like no hitting, no mean words, no all of those other things, no gossiping, no tattle telling. All of those rules are circled inside of this one rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. And then use classroom materials respectfully would be, because basically if we want to say don't misuse the property or don't vandalize the school property, this would be the positive way to say that, by saying use the classroom materials respectfully so that they can last. And once you explain it to the students, they know the reason and they are able to do it. And for be safe inside and outside of the classroom would be a great way to keep students accountable for, because we want to cover many rules, and we don't want to say no running, no hitting, no sliding, things like that. And on this other picture, this shows what we do not want to do. We don't want to say no this, no that, no that, because that would be very negative, and we don't want to be negative. And this is and that should cover all my rules for the class. So basically she wants to say no everything, which that would not be right. And then we want to, for that one, we want to use few, no more than 5 rules, so that it's easy to remember. For feature 2, clear and consistent consequences for infractions of rules. Consequences: what happens if we break a rule? So in this picture we see take a break, or you break it and you fix it. Logical consequence and loss of a privilege. There is positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, and more approaches that we can do. For take a break, this would be removing the student from the environment to be able to allow the student to calm down. You break it, you fix it. This allows the student to have a positive reinforcement as far as you can do it, you can make it better. A logical consequence would be, okay, well, I'm going to call your parent, I'm going to send a note home to your mom, and that would be a negative reinforcement. And the loss of a privilege, that would also be taking something away for the good of the student, so they keep doing good, and so on. Feature 3, differentiation between classroom managed and office managed behaviors. So in your class you should have clearly defined infractions, as far as the major and minor infractions, to be sent to the office for the consequences, in which are handled in class as part of the hierarchy of the predetermined consistent behaviors. And here is a funny caricature of this student who has a piggy bank, and he's just saying, oh, you want that version as well. Now, the steps in planning and implementing is that you need to have a positive behavior intervention support system team. And this team includes the administrator, the teacher, the special education teacher, the staff, the representatives who monitor, the representatives from the support personnel, who would be like whoever is monitoring, like the PE teacher, people who know the student very well. Also, the parent would be involved, and some schools actually want the student to be present so that it can be more personal and the student is comfortable with it. Now, second step is to collect data on a regular basis and reviewing it to identify the disciplinary needs. So once that the student is behaving in a certain way, the teachers have to be taking notes of what's happening and being able to say, okay, well, we need to stop him from hurting other students or this and that, and they make a plan, which is step number 3. After that, they meet frequently to address the issues as needed, and the book suggests that at first the staff meets regularly, as it could be even as regular as every day, to talk about the things that are happening and what needs to be fixed and what steps they're going to take as a team to be able to take those steps. And number 5, they will monitor and review the data to make the necessary changes. And the monitoring methods for this is to there's 3 ways of monitoring. There's monitoring the effectiveness, the fidelity of the implementation, and monitoring who is not responding to the system. So we can monitor the effectiveness by using the school-wide system. We can monitor the fidelity of the implementation by using the school-wide evaluation tool and the benchmarks of quality. And they can monitor who is not responding to the interventions by having screening systems, and also by taking the data and reviewing it. And these are my resources. Thank you so much. Have a great night.